All right, Chiefs Kingdom, let's talk about a move that's left a lot of fans scratching their heads. Word on the street is that the Kansas City Chiefs might be planning something unexpected to kick off the 2025 season. We're talking about a potential shakeup at the left tackle spot, and it's all centered around first-round rookie Josh Simmons. Now, if you're like most fans, you're probably thinking, why would they sign Jalen Moore to a 2-year, $30 million contract just to have him sit on the bench? And that's a fair question. But let's dig deeper because there's way more to this story than meets the eye. ESPN's Adam Teicher recently dropped a bit of a bombshell during a radio appearance, suggesting that if Simmons is healthy and progressing well, the Chiefs may start him at left tackle as early as Week 1. That's right. Plan A might be to throw the rookie straight into the fire. But here's the twist. That one quote spread all over social media didn't tell the full story. Teicher also made it clear that Jalen Moore is Plan B, and if he's playing well, there's no rush to force Simmons into the lineup, so why would the Chiefs pay Jalen Moore that kind of money if they weren't sure he'd be starting? Because they couldn't predict the draft. Heading into it, they needed a reliable starting left tackle, and Moore gave them that insurance. Then Simmons fell into their lap at pick 32, and suddenly the equation changed. Look, whether Simmons starts right away or sits for while this is a win-win, it gives the Chiefs depth and flexibility at a position that cost them big time in the Super Bowl. Remember, Joe Thuney had to kick out to left tackle, and it didn't go great. This time around, the Chiefs aren't taking any chances. Let me know in the comments, do you think Simmons should start right away, or would you rather see him ease into the role? And do you think $15 million a year is too much for a potential backup? Let's hear your thoughts. Now let's really unpack what it would mean for the Chiefs to start Josh Simmons at left tackle right out of the gate. We're talking about a premium position that protects Patrick Mahomes' blind side. That's not a casual responsibility. It's one of the most important roles on the field. And giving that job to a rookie? That's bold. But then again, when have the Chiefs ever shied away from bold moves? Let's be real. Simmons is a physical freak. He's got the size, the athleticism, and the raw tools that coaches dream about. And if you watched him at rookie minicamp or dug into his college tape, it's easy to see why Brett Veach and Andy Reid were so excited to land him. He has a ton of upside. But here's the other side of that coin. He's still very raw. He gave up 10 sacks last year at USC. That's a big number for a guy expected to protect the best quarterback in football. Starting him too early could shake his confidence. We've seen plenty of talented linemen struggle when thrown in too soon, but the Chiefs' coaching staff has a track record of developing players the right way. Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, even Lucas Niang. They've all grown under Andy Heck and the crew. So if they believe Simmons is ready, that says a lot. Still, it's worth remembering what happened last time a high-potential rookie was thrust into a starting spot before he was ready. It doesn't always end well. That's why Jalen Moore is such a key part of this plan. He's not just a backup, he's a proven veteran with experience and reliability. He gives the team breathing room to make the smart call with Simmons. So here's the big question. Would you rather go with the high-upside rookie or the steady vet who's done it before? There's no wrong answer, but it says a lot about what kind of risk the Chiefs are willing to take this season. Drop a comment below with your take. Is it better to throw Simmons into the fire now, or let him learn behind Moore for a few weeks? Now, at first glance, a lot of fans might look at this and think, why draft a tackle in the first round if you're not going to start him right away? But let's not rush to judgment. This might actually be one of the smartest long-term moves the Chiefs have made in recent years. Think about it. This isn't just about Week 1. This is about January. This is about February. This is about making sure that when Mahomes is in the playoffs, facing Myles Garrett or TJ Watt, he's not looking over his shoulder every other snap. Giving Josh Simmons the time to develop behind Jalen Moore could be the perfect way to ease him into NFL-level competition without setting him up for failure. This is something Kansas City has done before, and it's worked. Remember how Trey Smith slid in the draft and they didn't rush him? He earned his spot and has been a cornerstone ever since. They're applying the same patience here, and it could pay massive dividends. Jalen Moore might not be flashy, but that's kind of the point. He's dependable. He doesn't need to be a star. He just needs to be steady. That allows Simmons to absorb the playbook, adjust to NFL speed, and clean up some of those pass protection issues we saw at USC. That's development the right way. And let's not forget, injuries happen. Depth is crucial. You can't rely on just 5 offensive linemen all year long. Having both Moore and Simmons ready to go gives Kansas City options and flexibility. That's something most teams would kill for. So yeah, maybe Simmons doesn't start week 1. But if he's ready by week 6 or 8, if he steps in and dominates in the second half of the season and the playoffs, that's a massive win. And honestly, it's looking more and more like that's exactly the plan Brett Veach is banking on. What do you think? Are the Chiefs playing the long game here? Or should they just let the rookie roll now? All right, so let's dig into what all of this means for the rest of the offensive line. And trust me, it's more important than you think. When the Chiefs invested in Josh Simmons, they weren't just drafting one player. They were sending a clear message to the entire O-line room. Competition is on, and that's a good thing. You want guys to feel the pressure, to fight for every snap, to know that nothing is guaranteed. That's how championship teams are built. Let's start with the left side. We know Joe Thuney is elite. He's as steady as they come. Creed Humphrey at center, one of the best in the league, no question. But what this Simmons-Moore situation does is give the right side some added accountability. If Moore slips up or underperforms, there's a 5-star athlete breathing down his neck, waiting for the chance to step in. That's powerful. It also means more flexibility for the Chiefs if injuries hit. Let's say someone gets dinged up mid-season. Maybe Thuney or Trey Smith has to miss a few games. Having someone like Simmons who's developing quickly and learning the scheme gives the coaching staff options. They're not scrambling to plug holes with practice squad guys. They've got talent in-house, ready to go. Also, don't overlook the mental aspect here. Simmons learning from guys like Smith, Humphrey, and Thuney every day in practice? That's huge. That's like a rookie quarterback sitting behind Tom Brady for a year. He's soaking up the little things, and those things add up come playoff time. The ripple effect here is clear. Stronger depth, more internal competition, and a line that stays fresh throughout the grind of the season. And with the AFC being as stacked as ever, that might be what separates the Chiefs from the rest when it matters most. So, Chiefs Kingdom, how do you feel about the right side of our O-line heading into the season? Confident? Or are you still concerned about Simmons not starting? Let's wrap this up by talking about the guy who benefits the most from all these moves, the $500 million man himself, Patrick Mahomes. Everything the Chiefs do, from draft picks to trades to scheme adjustments, ultimately circles back to one thing: keeping Mahomes upright and letting him do what he does best, dominate. And that's exactly what this investment in the offensive line is about. Look, we've seen what happens when Mahomes gets time in the pocket. It's not just good football, it's surgical. He picks defenses apart, turns broken plays into highlights, and makes magic happen. But that only works when he's protected. That Super Bowl loss to the Bucs a few years back? Yeah, we all remember that. No protection, no Mahomes magic. So adding a guy like Josh Simmons into the mix, even if he's not the starter on day one, is about protecting your franchise quarterback for the long haul. If Moore steps up and locks down the right tackle job, great. If Simmons develops fast and proves he's ready, even better. Either way, Mahomes wins, but there's more to this than just pass protection. The Chiefs want to keep defenses guessing, and that means running the ball effectively. A deep, versatile offensive line lets you wear down opposing fronts, control the tempo, and dominate time of possession. That opens up the deep ball. That opens up play action. And most importantly, it keeps Mahomes clean late in games. It also builds a culture, one where every guy knows he's got to bring it every single week. Mahomes can trust that the guys in front of him are fighting to keep him safe, and that kind of trust is priceless in this league. So, the question now becomes, with this offensive line room deeper than ever and competition heating up, are we about to see the best version of Mahomes yet? Let us know in the comments. Will this be Mahomes' MVP year again? Or are there still some question marks that need answering before we get there?